Hello everyone, welcome back to Tales of Berseria. I am Drunken Dan. Last time, we kind of meandered around, we fished and shit like that. This time, where am I going? Oh, Midgand. Okay, so I gotta go back to Midgand. Was there any more, things? Okay, no, I stopped right here because I was afraid of cutscene hell. I do have some tabletop stuff to talk about, but we will get into that in a little bit. Damn, I'm dying. Which one of these is Midgand? Renede? Salt? Oh, that's... Port Zexen? Oh, Port Zexen, there we go. Cutscenes, or no? I think this is where I gotta go. I'm a little distracted trying to figure out this. Oh, yes, I did pick right. Good.
The boss has given me a message for you. Says there's some sort of nasty demon running around in the Aldina Plains, to the east of Logris. She thought it might be the one you're looking for.
Wasn't the Eastern Highway closed off from Logris?
That was only temporary. It's back open now. If you follow the road, you'll reach Stonebury Village. There you'll find one of ours who actually saw the demon. You want to know more? That'd be a good place to start.
Got it.
Hey, that's the same direction I sensed the...
Give Tabitha our thanks.
It's looking more and more like we're on the right track. We ought to go check out that Bloodwing story.
Then let's start by going to Stonebury.
Hey, Eisen, did I say something wrong back there?
No. I just didn't think we needed to give the Bloodwings any information for free.
Huh?
He means the Earth Pulse points, kid. We're the only ones who know about them.
But aren't we on the same side as the Bloodwings?
We're not enemies with them. But I wouldn't go so far as to call them our friends either.
That's just how it goes in the underworld. Things can change at the drop of a hat. A poison hat. But how are they supposed to trust us if we don't show them trust in kind?
That messenger knew our faces, even though we'd never met. He was here waiting for us, even though we hadn't told anyone where we were going.
You're right!
We hardly know the first thing about them, and yet they seem to know every move we make.
They could easily sell us out if it struck their fancy.
They'll work with us as long as we're a useful ally in their resistance against the Abbey. But the more tricks we can keep up our sleeve, the better.
We've got each other's back, but only as long as we hold a knife up our sleeve. That's what counts as trust in the underworld.
That sounds terrible. But at least you can trust that Tabitha's cooking will be tasty.
Can't argue that.
Okay. Oh, fuck, more.
This is everyone's first time to Stonebury, right?
Why was it blocked off? Demons?
No, there was a great tornado on the Aldina Plains that swallowed up a whole merchant caravan. Hundreds gone in an instant.
The cooling of the climate is causing bouts of odd weather. Thunderstorms, heavy downpours, and the like.
Correct. The Abbey is keeping a tight guard on traffic through the affected areas.
If it's open now, that must mean the tornado is gone.
I wonder what sort of place it is. It's quite lovely. In the vast forest to the east, you can find gemstones, and it's teeming with rare plants and insects. The locals trade only as much meat and hides as they need, and they live peaceful, quiet lives. You sure know a lot about this place. It's where the Norman he first fell in love with grew up. Yeah! Please don't embarrass me. Though we are apart from each other now, our hearts are still as one. Immediately after you and I made our pact and set off, she fell in love with some macho Norman and moved away. What? What have you known? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I found out during my long search for you. Or maybe it was right after we left. I remember leaving something in the village and going back to... Oh well, not like it matters. It does matter!
There's no sense in crying over a fickle girl. Come, Stonebury awaits.
Alright, let's continue. I'll trigger that one, and then I'll start talking about Pathfinder shit. Because, like I said, we did get the run this week. Did get to do a couple of fights. Got to turtle back. And that was about it for the night. Mainly because of those fights. But some interesting shit happened with them.
The Eastern Plain is finally open for travel. I hear that the people of Stonebury are alive and well. My husband and I can breathe a sigh of relief.
I wasn't worried about him at all.
He talks tough, but he was really worried. Oh, sorry you don't know who we're talking about. It's his apprentice.
What kind of apprentice?
My husband's an architect. Even the royal family and the abbey commission his work. He's been at the docks here on a job. He just finished and we're about to return to Logris.
These people don't care about all that.
Why did your apprentice go to Stonebury?
He's young and talented, but a bit eccentric. He said he wanted to help create a new town, so he set off to the frontier.
A craftsman has to focus on his work. Creating a new town. Ha! He should know his place.
But my husband didn't disown him. That boy's fearlessness reminds me of my husband when he was young.
So you understand how he feels then?
I didn't say that. If he thinks he has the talent, he's free to do as he likes. But if he doesn't follow through with it to the end, I'll be done with him.
Did you hear that? He thinks the boy can do it. If you ever find yourself in Stonebury, go visit that boy's workshop.
Right, I'll do that.
Sorry about my husband. He can be a real grump.
Don't worry about it. I'm pretty used to people like that.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Fucking called out, kid! Alright, let me check the map and see where I'm supposed to go exactly. The east. Pyrian's Throne. North. Ah, must be down there. Alright, okay, just go down. So, I finished saying my goodbyes, or, well, Melita, the character I'm playing as in Rise of the Rune Lords. Probably should open up with it. Oh, it was Rise of the Rune Lords we ran, which, I mean, that's typically what we end up running. So I had to finish saying my goodbyes, and then we made it 2 days out of town. And by the way, it started pouring. For those of you who know this part of the story, you know why. But it starts pouring, and it just wasn't letting up. It gets foggy out, and there he is, the Sandpoint Devil. Galvin's the first one awake. He wakes everybody up. We actually don't see him, but he, you know, makes a perception check to hear that shit's going down. Wakes everybody up. First, these two, like, blue creatures kind of come out of the fog and shoot lightning bolts. Oh!
I've finally gotten used to it.
Used to what?
Your powers. I think I finally got a handle on them in a way that feels right.
That's good. Hopefully you won't faint anymore.
Yeah, and I'll keep learning too. I hope we can make this work out.
Yeah, definitely. Fingers crossed. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Hey! When you and Eleanor made your pact together, she gave you a true name, right? Was it a good one?
True name? What's that?
It's a special name in the ancient tongue given to a Moloch as a necessary step in forming a pact with a human. I gave Bienfu the name Fushicast. It means thing.
That's pretty messed up.
It's just my own little way of showing affection.
So what kind of name did you get, Laphicet? What's the matter? She didn't give you a really weird name like Magulu gave Bienfu, did she? If you're not happy with it, I can talk to Eleanor about it later. So go on and tell me...
I'm fine with it. And I can't tell you anyway.
Well, you don't have to get so worked up about it.
A true name is not something a Moloch just casually divulges to others. They carry a special meaning to us. Speaking it to anyone other than our Pact Keeper carries a special meaning. Between comrades, it means we trust them with our lives. In other cases, it's...
Practically a confession of love!
You could have said something sooner, you know.
Laphicet's at a delicate age. You should be more careful in the future.
Oh, really? It's just another way of showing affection.
Jacketless outfit, Laphicet. So where was I? By the way, we also bought a carriage, like a cart, not a carriage, like a wagon. So we could, so that's how we were, so we traveled via wagon with our horses. By the way, because I used a random name generator, my horse now has a name. It's Moon Nose. So anyway, the will-o-wisp things, or whatever they are, shoot lightning. Oh, God damn it.
Dragon.
That's gotta be the demon Tabitha wanted us to know about.
It's flying free, but could it still be a Therian?
I just felt an Earth Pulse point. It's that way, somewhere near the top of that mountain.
Let's check it out.
Okay, so they shoot lightning at the thing. I think I take a little bit of damage because of, yeah, but I think I made my reflex save. I took a little bit of damage, but I was okay from the lightning. I'm gonna lower the volume. So I take a little bit of damage. Everybody else took full. Cart took damage because we now had to actually calculate that. Then,
Are you hurt?
what was it? We hear a roar from the fog. By the way, everyone but Florini can only see like about 5 feet in front of them. Florini, because of her weird vision, can see further. Lucky asshole. And, what was it? So, the thing roars, and it's a fear effect. Now, here's how things play out. Everybody but me and Galvin make it. However, because of my new path ability, given to me by my fucking god, I'm able to roll once again on a will save per day. So I rolled again, and I made the CR. Not the CR, the, DR. Or, not DR, DC. There we go. So I made the save, and Galvin didn't. So Galvin spent 2 rounds running away. And by the way, because you have to use also your spells to run away, he cast Cheetah Sprint on himself and just ran across the planet. Oh god. I'm gonna take these guys on because I could use the XP. They're strong, so it's better that I do this. Okay, good. I got some of my stuff back. But, so Calvin spends the entire fight running. I knock the... I shoot at the wisps and everything with my magic missiles. Florini nearly gets killed and hides behind the cart going, "Go team!" And occasionally healing. Not Florini, Samedi. Florini fights, Stormheart fights. I kill the wisps, I believe. And actually, one of them managed to summon a fucking undead goblin. But it didn't really matter because the goblin was like, you know, just a basic bitch zombie. And, you know, it wasn't really much of a threat. So the rest of it came down to fighting the Sandpoint Devil. Now, I forgot to mention, the Sandpoint Devil did shoot, I think it's called Hellfire? It was a breath attack at, I believe it was Samedi. I believe she hit Samedi. Or it hit Samedi. And Samedi was cursed. How he died was... Stormheart was punching the shit out of this thing. But, oh yeah, I forgot. Stormheart could see it perfectly because of his, fiend vision. So, like, because of that, he could just see this damn thing wherever it went. And he does a fuckload of damage, so the thing tries to fly away. Denise, Stormheart's player, asks, how high is it in the air? 15 feet. So, Stormheart uses his Blade Dash to jump above it in the air, punch it twice, and use his acid attack to hit it, which kills it. And as Anise described, what happens is, because he had mirror image on, the mirror images all take turns hitting fucking the Sandpoint Devil, and then the last one, the real Stormheart comes around with the acid hand, puts it, just like, slams his palm into the beast's face, and just slams it down into the ground, and it explodes, because outsiders explode when they die. Like video game enemies. And yes, we all made jokes about how it was Naruto, because it's exactly what he was doing. So after the fight, Galvin finally comes back, because it didn't last too many rounds. And Galvin was actually upset that he didn't get to fight it, because he wanted to kill it. So Melita's just rubbing his shoulders, just like, I know, you'll get the next 5 dozen. And, Huh. Am I going the right way to the mountain? I guess we'll find out. I'm gonna wait for it to turn around, because I want to try and catch it from behind, if possible. So, we then had to go back to... Oh, something saw me. It's probably this one. Yeah, it was this one. So, we had to go back to Sandpoint. I went to the bathroom, but apparently, when I came back, I was told it took 2 remove cursed casts in order to get it off. And, so that was funny, at least. So, we go back out. We, get out of Sandpoint. No further incident. We get to Magnemar. 2 days out of Magnemar, we run into that ranger from the tournament, the one who's all about orc genocide and slaving. And, he wants Samedi. He also has, 3 of these, like, big hags. I don't remember their exact name. But they have, they had DR against stabbing weapons and SR as well. So Melita was kind of out when it came to fighting them, so the only thing she could deal with was the ranger. Samedi stayed in the cart for most of the fight. Galvin rolled an Intimidate, actually scared one of the hags, who was also the first one to die, so I joked as she died, she goes, I told you this was a bad idea! One of them grabs Galvin, which is weird, because people typically don't grab Galvin. But it didn't matter, because Galvin now has, two-handed fighting with, his one-handed fighting with two-handed weapons. So he just started beating it to death with that, and it managed to live just barely, and then I think Stormheart bopped it and it died. I think that's how that went. I shot, because I love using the fucking knock-on-your-butt missiles. I shot those on the guy's butt. And then, what was it? So I shot those. Then, one of them grabbed Shalelu, because I actually forgot to mention, because we went back, Shalelu, who was going to go to Fort Rannoch, which is where we were going, was originally going to leave not with us, but because of that incident, we ended up having her with us. So, she was there too. I cast Mirror Image on myself for my first move, in case you're wondering, and hid behind a rock, and then I was shooting the magic missile from behind the rock. After the hags had after all but one hag was dead, one hag was grabbing Shalelu, or as Florini calls her, Shalelu, which, by the way, that joke came to a head, because she named her horse Shalelu, so that also came up, which is like, what? But, there we go. Oh! This is my new one! Ooh!
You could escape me.
Oh my god, that was fucking cool. Anyway though. So, Galvin had a charge lane. I had a charge lane. By charge lane, I mean I teleported behind him and stabbed him. Which also made him be like, what? What are you doing here? You were the one who submitted in the tournament. And then I stabbed him. Be like, oh, Jesus, what does it do? So I stab him, and then he, Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, I think I gotta go that way. So, Samedi, however, gets cocky and steps out and goes, "Well, well, well, how the turntables." That's verbatim what she said. Or it was either that, I think it was that. I'm pretty sure that's how she said it. It was very dumb. So she just comes stepping out of the cart, ready to fight. And charges the damn thing. I think you know how this is gonna end. Okay, let's prioritize the bigger threat. So she charges, she managed to get a hit in the same time I do. The fucking tiefling slaver against orcs person takes 2 swings at her. The first one lands, but barely does any damage. Second one is a crit. And I remember exactly what we found out it was a crit when Nick, the DM, was like, oh no, oh no. And we were like, oh, he crit, didn't he? Yeah. And then he just started going, oh god, oh, I gotta calculate the numbers. And I just went, okay, from a scale of dead to fucking dead, how dead is Samedi? And he just goes, she has negative 35 health. And my dumbass just goes, so is she alive? And so yeah, Samedi died. Speaking of death. Speaking of death. Here, just give me this real quick. And no, you don't. Stop that. Okay, see, now I'm concentrating on you because you nearly killed me. Okay. You die now, too. But, so, what we ended up doing was pulling together the cash that we got from killing this guy that was trying to make her a slave. We pulled that together, the items that he got. In fact, there's actually some new spells I have. Which actually, I need to look through those. There were some scrolls that we had there were some scrolls there that we couldn't use or already had in our spell list, so we were able to sell those. And we ended up having to dip into Samedi's cash. Samedi had 900-something cash of her own, and then she had an additional 1,000. So how many of you remember the evidence story? You know, where she had the bag of evidence money? The one that she totally just didn't steal? Yeah, so our characters found that, and the only character who knew about it was Stormheart, who didn't pipe up during this entire conversation, might I add. So, Melita, Florini, and Galvin are scratching their heads as to why Samedi has a bag that says evidence. So, Melita eventually deduces that this is in fact an elaborate joke by Samedi. That she named a bag evidence just to mess with them, in case they ever went into her bag. And that became our gag, or at least our characters, what they believed was going on. So, we go back to Magnamar. We do all the casts that we need to get Samedi back without the negative effects. And then we continue on the Turtleback. And guess what? Nothing else happened. We didn't get killed or anything. No more fights. In fact, the DM's like, I didn't expect any of this to go down this way. By the way, that's a mantra of DMs. I didn't see this coming. There's always that one thing that happens in a fight in the game that you don't expect. I've only DM'd once, but just from DM reactions to shit that in games I played, and just that in general, that's just what happens every time. Did I avoid that thing? Please tell me I avoided that thing. 'Cause I don't want to fight it right now. I don't want to fight you either. So, yeah.
I can really feel the earth pulse now. It's up above.
Guess we're in for some mountain climbing then.
So, to wrap up, we ended up at Turtleback. Paradise... Oh, actually, you know what? Before I talk about Turtleback... No, I'll talk about that later. So we get the Turtleback, we get the Paradise, and actually, I'll save Turtleback for after whatever cutscene triggers. I think there's gonna be a cutscene in like a second. Can I break those? No. I was hoping I could make a shortcut. Well, there's a save point right here, so... Yeah, there's gonna be some shit going down here. So, we learned that Paradise is still a thing. So, in the original actual, the actual path or whatever, the original module, Paradise is gone in the lore. I won't say any more than that. Paradise is there. I get called a hick by some of the guards because I tell them where I'm from, because my character's from Sandpoint. Well, they poke fun at the fact that she's from the Sticks, which isn't wrong. Sandpoint is basically the Sticks. But, it's the nice Sticks, though. It's got a beach. But, so we get in, we go to Paradise. The admission is $10, or, well, 10 gold. And, Florini decided to try and scam the guard and be like, don't you have a discount for the poor blind Veretians? Oh, wait, no, I forgot before that. The guard cards my character, because there's a running gag where some people think my character is like 12. And she doesn't really get annoyed too much, but she might roll her eyes at most. But this was one of those cases where she just rolled her eyes and showed them her ID. And so she gets in that way. Everyone else pays their way. Florini does the poor blind Veresian girl. And then she goes, alright, I'm gonna get my boss. And, oh yeah, before we walked in, we saw the Sahedron tattooed on a guy working the docks. So we were like, oh no, is this cult territory? But I will continue with the rest of the story after this cutscene. / boss fight.
Here,
What? I don't know anything.
Earth pulse point I've been feeling.
No Therian and no barrier.
I must have gotten it wrong again.
I wouldn't be so sure of that. That dragon could well have broken its barrier. Or it might have been too powerful for the Abbey to subdue.
You could be right. After all, dragons make for the strongest demons.
The problem is, we don't know if it's a Therian or not.
Yeah. Let's stick with the plan and head to Stonebury to gather more information.
Am I the only one here who thinks the real problem is how we're supposed to fight a frickin' dragon?
Yeah, you are. I don't see a problem. I see only fun. Alright.
I can't wait to take a good look around. Whoa, now that's what I call a view.
I agree that it's beautiful, but don't leap about so much. You'll fall.
I can sense many earth pulses under this place.
I figured you'd notice that. An intricate web of earth pulses crisscrosses the land under the Aldina Plains. Mountains like these would normally take tens of thousands of years to form, but these popped up in about a millennia.
So the earth pulses have affected the land?
Exactly. Long ago, people wielded arts that allowed them to manipulate the earth pulses and control the very land itself.
How could arts like that exist?
Perhaps they pushed against key points on the earth pulses? Like how acupressure can improve a person's blood flow.
That's a rather forced comparison. But you may be right. Either way, those arts have been lost for eons.
I'm impressed, Eisen. You know a lot about everything.
Not at all. There's so much I don't know. For example, the name of these flowers. That's why I travel. To learn.
Aldina alabaster grass.
That's the name of this flower?
Yes. A long time ago, my brother showed me a picture of it in one of his books. They're fragile flowers. They die quickly on their own, but if enough of them gather together, they can survive. Fields of them form beautiful white carpets of flowers. In some cultures, they symbolize kinship, the bonds between people.
Kinship. Huh.
I'll remember that. You and your brother taught me something new today.
I'll never forget either.
Okay. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, so they get the boss. Wasn't Zanesha, but I think you'll figure out who it was if you played it before. Basically offered to give her this tattoo, so she would be able to go in for free. And it was the Sahedron. So, you know, Florini didn't want that tattooed on her. And then, also when she left, like, the guard that she was originally, not the guard, the bouncer she was originally with, was like, oh no, I'm gonna get in so much trouble by my boss today. So she felt bad and profusely apologized because she didn't want the guy to lose his job, and Florini got in by paying the money. Now, while this was going on, Galvin took us all to the bar. We all drank a little bit, and we learned that his, because of all the Sahedron fucking medallions that we have from the cultists, we were able to eat and drink for free, because they counted it as if it was like part of the discount thing. And in fact, the party isn't sure if this is all like cult run or if it's oh shit, I'm stunned. If it's cult run or if it's just people that think the Sahedron looks cool and don't know what it actually is. And my character gets a little buzzed, but she doesn't drink as much as the others because, like, she even jokes like, "Oh, at least one of us has to be on guard." Like, she kind of sasses her fiance about that. She's like, "Oh, come on, live a little. Hey, one of us needs to be on guard. I can't be caught off guard." Yeah, well, one of us needs to be sober. But she ends up getting buzzed anyway. And the reason she gets buzzed is because when Galvin rages, he gets the blue tattoos. I'm going to tell you an interesting story about those tattoos in a minute. There's a lot to unpack. I might end up saving some of it for the next video, depending on how long some of it takes me to divulge. But I do want to talk about how the Sandpoint Devil went in my other group. So, you know, we get there, we kind of just eat, drink. We gamble, too. We even play like a little game of blackjack. Galvin played it. Was it Florini played the first time, dropped 100 gold down, which is ridiculous. Lost 100 gold. It was 110. It was a lot. Then Galvin plays, he wins. I think he only bet 10 gold though. Then Florini bets again, another 100 gold, which she loses again. Then Stormheart plays. He bets his 2 platinum because he just wants to get rid of his 2 platinum. He loses. He's like, yeah, there goes my platinum. My character didn't bet on that one. Then after that, we did a roll to see how our characters did in gambling. I think it was a D10. I rolled a 9, so my character apparently, who was trying to convince people to not go gambling heavy, apparently when she decided to actually gamble, was really good at it, which is kind of funny to me. She's apparently really good at playing, games of chance or card games and shit like that. But what we theorize that's because she always knew when to pull out, because she just knew when to get the fuck out of Dodge and stop. So she'd probably play like once or twice and then stop. And that was pretty much the night that we had there. We're gonna start heading to Fort Rannoch. We were given complimentary rooms, and next session we'll go up to Fort Rannoch. Okay, so let's start. I'll talk about Galvin's tattoos second, because I really want to talk about the fucking Sandpoint Devil and how he went down in my first group. The Sandpoint Devil was killed in the dumbest way. So when the Sandpoint Devil came down and roared, only because it wasn't Foggy when that DM ran it, he just came down and roared at us. Now, he didn't roll initiative yet, but he roared. Now, everyone but a fighter that was played by a person who was kind of a pissant and eventually left the group were fine. They all passed it. He got scared and ran off, and the player was pissy the entire rest of the game. And then what proceeded to happen was, before he said roll initiative, I rolled an Intimidate. Now, the Jersey Devil, I'm just going to call him that, is immune to fear effects. However, I rolled a crit on both my will save and a crit on my yell at the demon. And the DM just thought it was, and the DM was sad when he saw that it was invincible to fear. It was just like, you know what, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you because that was really cool. So he gets shaken, and then he gets the debuffs. All of the debuffs. To summarize, he becomes deaf, dumb, and blind before he's beaten to death by my character. And that's pretty much how that fight went. I don't even think he got to use Hellfire. He just got beaten to death. And that's how that went down. And after these cutscenes, I will talk about Galvin's tattoos. Because now, when he blood rages, they turn blue. And I'll explain the significance of this and how this will change both my character and his character's future progression, for better or for worse. We'll find out. And, but let me trigger this first.
Right.
There are so many things to talk to here.
Where would I be?
We'll start at the inn. It only makes sense.
Alright, well, let's talk to these people first.
Blueberries! What are you gonna do with all those? Make jam? I'm going to feed them to my chickens. That way they'll lay eggs with purple yolks.
What?
You know that won't work, right? It sure will. The color of yolks change depending on what a hen eats. My grandma taught me that. Actually, we always feed our chickens corn. Is that why their yolks are yellow? What are you gonna do with purple eggs anyway? Tourists are coming from the capital again, right? I bet they've never seen purple eggs, so I figure I could sell them for a lot. Maybe I can even make our village famous! You've thought this out, but will they really sell? You know what they'd make, right? Purple fried eggs, purple omelets, purple egg fried rice. Ooh. Hey, would you want to eat a purple omelet? Strange things sell, right? You don't have to be so mean just because you can't think of a better idea. Sorry. Here, let me help you. Fine. Go catch a whole barrel full of jewel beetles. If we feed them to my chickens, we'll get eggs with yolks like shining jewels. I really wouldn't want to be your chickens, but... okay.
What a carefree village.
But you know, this is what really makes humanity amazing to me. Attempting the impossible. Reaching for the stars, just as a matter of course.
Aye. Though we may stumble countless times on our way, we can achieve anything we put our minds to.
Attempting the impossible, huh?
That's all well and good, but there are some lines that should never be crossed. Purple eggs.
Ugh.
Look at those flat textures. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, you know what? It's mean. Isn't it works. It's fine. It looks fine. It's fine. It serves its purpose. It's fine. I always forgot that they're like those turning kind of textures. Look at this. Okay, I'll stop. Let's just trigger the cutscenes and dialogue.
Raspberries, strawberries, blueberries. They all grow in abundance around Stonebury. We even have a fairy tale about it. One day the ground was covered with so many fallen berries, they all became stones.
Stoneberries. Is that how the town got its name?
The spelling has changed some, but yes. Berries are an important part of this village. We harvest local berries to make jams, pastries, gels, and all sorts of sweets.
Berry-flavored gels! I've never had one.
We've exported our jam and fruit for a while now, but our raspberry gels are still being perfected.
Aw, rats.
Are the vegetables growing in that field special too? I don't think I've ever seen anything like them before.
You've got sharp eyes. But that's right. They're a rare species of wild potato. They're red and they're called radish bells. We discovered them in the mountains nearby. Sadly, the potatoes are actually highly poisonous.
Really? They look so good.
They do. But the skin and the sprouts are toxic. If you aren't careful when removing them, it's Poisonville for you. Deadly poison aside, they're sweet, fluffy, and go great with butter. And when they're fried nice and crispy, they're the best. So just skin them and sell them. What's the problem? Yes, we've thought of that, but the way they are now, you have to peel off quite a bit before you get to the edible part. Peel one as big as your fist, and all you get for your trouble is a bit of meat the size of an egg yolk. That's why we're selectively breeding them. One day, they'll have only a thin layer of poisonous skin. Why not breed them to get rid of the poison altogether? With no poison, bugs will eat them, and they'll be more vulnerable to cold and heat. With potatoes, as with people, getting rid of everything harmful isn't always for the best.
Interesting. But accurate.
The water around here is ideal for producing wine and spirits. I've been thinking about fermenting something new.
What will you make? This region's specialty is berries, so a berry wine?
But the chilly air and level of humidity here should be just right for making an amber draft, don't you think?
Considering the geography around here, the water must contain a high mineral content. If you use it to make a rice wine, the taste will be unique.
I've considered all those options, but I must create something that can surpass my greatest rival, Sleeping Princess.
But that's nearly impossible to make.
Exactly. Not an easy task, to say the least. Sleeping Princess is made by filling an emerald cask with water from an enchanted mountain spring and sitting it in direct sunlight for 7 years. The water's magic causes it to change color each year. When it reaches the same deep green hue of the cask, it's ready.
Solar fermenting, huh? It won't be easy to surpass a marvel of the winemaking world like Sleeping Princess.
True, but I've finally found it. The ultimate stone.
A gemstone? Will you make a cask from it?
That would just make it an imitation. No. What I found can only be called a natural rock filter.
You're filtering wine with a rock?
Deep in the heart of these mountains, I found a stone that absorbs liquids. I tried using it to filter a berry wine. The taste of it was unbelievably crisp and bright. It preserved the luscious richness of the berries, while adding a clarity that left me breathless. I call it Pure Land wine. There is no better.
May I have a taste?
My apologies, but it took me 10 years to make a single thimbleful. I drank that thimbleful for my tasting. It'll be about 50 years before I can make a decent batch. I doubt I'll see a full bottle in my lifetime.
50 years, huh? Meet you back here then?
I've never been so glad not to be human.
50 fucking years, Jesus Christ.
Stonebury hasn't had much luck growing just yet, but this pioneer town has a lot of potential. Trees grow well here, and the lumber is of great quality. Oh, we're also close to the quarries, so stone isn't a problem. As long as the demons are contained, this country will rebuild. The need for stone and lumber will soar. Best of all, this area is quiet, has beautiful lakes, and is a perfect place for a craftsman like me to work.
And why settle for anything less?
I do feel that you might be a bit short-handed here. It's hard to build without manpower.
You're right. We need something to attract new settlers. Maybe some sort of specialty item?
Is there any fruit or vegetable that can only be found around here?
There is a type of potato called the radish bell that we grow, but it's got a few, quirks.
If you want to attract people, you should just ring a bell. Come to Stonebury, where the money grows on trees.
A bell tower, huh? That might actually work. We can even use local stones for the bell. The Stonebury Stone Belfry.
It won't work.
Huh?
Try hitting a rock. Doesn't ring.
Ah, how could I have missed that? I'm still such a novice. My master taught me better than this. Think before you build. That's what he always said. I need to do better and not sully his name.
Oh yeah, that's the guys, yeah. Oh, I thought I saw a thing. Oh, it's just that guy talking, trying to sell shit. That's all that is. I do not have enough cats. Full-grown cats. I might end up doing the tattoo thing next video, actually.
When I saw it, rain was pouring as if from buckets, and the wind was so strong I could hardly stay on my feet. From the vast darkness of the sky, a monster of tremendous size descended, like the essence of the storm itself.
A huge flying demon?
At that moment, a group of exorcists leapt out from their hiding spots and began to battle the demon beast. But it met their swords with its fearsome horns, and a swipe of its tail threw the noble exorcist's back.
Horns and a tail?
Where did the demon go?
I couldn't tell you. I was so frightened, I ran away and never looked back. I hope the Abbey can get rid of it, but the beast took out 3 exorcists with a single blow. Come to think of it, another person was there too. He faced the demon and told it to stop.
Zavid.
If you're going to the Aldina Plains, you'd better be careful.
Okay, so let's go to the inn. So yeah, I think I'll talk about the tattoos maybe next video. Because after I go to the inn, I think I might save because we're cutting it a little close.
Zavid.
Well, hello, sailor.
Are you waiting for someone?
Nope. Just saying a prayer for someone.
Someone?
Let's go. Clearly there aren't any bloodwings here.
You're just going to leave? I'm right here.
Everybody has times they need to be alone.
Fee.
Right. Coming. What do you think he was praying about?
Well, for one thing, he was drinking a bottle of Thorny Forest.
Oh my. The drink you share with your special someone when you're going to be married for life! How romantic!
But getting your hands on that stuff is no small feat. I can only hope I'll get a chance to taste it someday.
That must have had an important meaning for Savid. That's why you left him alone.
Don't read too much into it.
You're Velvet, right?
Huh, you must be the one who's seen the demon we're after. We saw a big snake-looking dragon fly over on the way here. Is that what you saw too?
Yes, that's the one. It nests at the top of the mountain in Aldina Plains.
We went to look ourselves. No dragon.
It only returns to its nest on rainy days.
Rainy days, you say?
Convenient.
Oh, just look at what you went and made the weather gods do. This doesn't bode well. Not at all.
Thanks. We'll give it another shot.
Gotta set the mood with the rain, right? Alright, guys, I know it's a little bit short, but if I remember correctly, this part is a lot of cutscene, so I think this is a good place to cut it off for now. I'll be back tomorrow with more, and we'll talk about Galvin's tattoos and probably some other nonsense I can think of. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Have a good day.